Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Caden Be Fishing. And today we are finally ice fishing. Here in Wisconsin, we have about 6 inches of ice on most of the lakes that we're at. Currently, I am out here with a lot of people, and I have 2 tip-ups out. I got one over there and one over there. Both of them have a big shiner minnow on them, and I will be in here jigging as well. So I finally get to show you guys what is the deal with the bulbs. So, one second, let me just all closed in here. All right, so we are going to be ice fishing here, and I am not going to tell you what lake it is for obvious reasons. I actually have a underwater fish camera. I have yet to figure out how to connect it in a way that I can record. So in the meantime, while I'm trying to figure that out, you're mostly just going to be seeing me fishing. But I got my jig pole here, my scoop, and yeah, we're going to see if we can catch some fish. But first, I want to explain to you guys the deal with all the bulbs that I have been collecting over hunting season. All right, you guys, so we have our bucket of bulbs that we collected over gun season here. So I'm sure you guys are probably wondering why the heck I collected all these. Like, what are they? What do they do? So I'm going to show you right now. So pretty much one of these bulbs has, well, so I remember, if you guys remember, in the hunting video, I showed you one that had like a bird pecked a hole in one of them. And I was like, yeah, there's nothing in it. So there's actually a bug in one of these. So every single one of these bulbs, a bug, I'm not sure if it's a type of fly or a type of wasp or something like that. What it does usually is earlier in the spring before the plant grows, the bug will lay an egg on the plant. And so the plant's defense of this pretty much grows this bulb around the bug to keep the bug from killing the plant. And so what the bug does is it will eat all of the material inside the bulb, and then once it eats its way out, it's usually mature enough that it can, you know, grow its wings or however it goes about the process, and then flies away. So essentially, if you find a bulb that is fully closed, there should be a bug still in it. And what I like to do is collect these and use them for ice fishing. So I have a little container here, nothing in it yet, obviously. I wanted to show you guys the whole process. So how I do this is probably not the safest way, but this is how I do it. I usually use a knife. Try not to do anything that's going to end you, cutting yourself. You don't want to cut yourself, obviously. So what I usually do is I'll try to put the bulb in the center of the knife on the blade, because the bug is usually right in the center. So I don't want to cut all the way through, like chop. You don't want to do that, because if the bug's smack dab in the middle, you're going to cut them in half. So all I have to do is take the bulb and the knife and hold it like this, and kind of just keep my fingers away from the edge of the blade. So if it does somehow, cut through, which it won't, that way I won't hurt myself. But I'm just going to kind of roll it back and forth until I can get a little ways into the bulb. And once I get about almost halfway, I'll stop. And what I'll do is I'll hold the bulb and I'll twist the knife. So what I do, I'm just cracking it open, essentially, like that. So what I do now is I open this up. And if you look right there, there's a little tiny little larva. And what I usually do is I use a bunch of these. Like, there's usually only about 1 per bulb. Sometimes you'll find 2 if you get lucky. So I'm gonna try to just kind of nuzzle him out of here a little bit. And if you look, there's a little bug in there. And we use those, or I use them, for ice fishing. And the fish love them because they're like a little ball of basically meat. I mean, it's a little bug. So yeah, that's why I collect all these bulbs, because there is a crap ton of these to be had, and they're free. You go out in any grass field you go hunting in, or you don't even have to be hunting. You can just walk around the grass field. It's all public land, so you can go out there. You can find these little bulbs and collect these little larvas and use them for ice fishing. So today I'm going to crack a couple open, and I'm going to be using them, and hopefully we catch something. The lake we're on right now, like I said, I'm not going to say what lake it is, but it is a lake that I have fished a couple times. I've caught a couple small fish out here. I've seen some people. There's a bunch of people out here, and every single one of them are out here just catching away. So we'll see if we get lucky. So yeah. All right, you guys. Well, we are out here fishing. I got my jig pole here. I have some of those bulbs that I opened. So I have 2 of those little bulb larvae on a little orange tungsten jig. Right in front of me, you guys can't see it obviously, but right in front of me there is my tip-ups. So I have one right in front of me in front of this window, and then I have one straight this way out this window as well. So I can see both of them. Here in Wisconsin, you can only have 3 lines in the water at a time. So a tip-up, like sitting by itself in the water, is technically a line. So I'm gonna be jigging with one, and then I have 2 tip-ups out. So see if we catch some. Until I figure out the camera situation, how I can get some underwater footage, because I would really like to do that. Until I figure that out, it's going to be probably just strictly, you know, viewing here, and then also I have my GoPro as well, so you'll kind of see what I have going on there. Alright, you guys, you might not be able to see the screen very well. I've yet to kind of figure out a system for this, but this is like the first time I've ever tried to film an ice fishing video, so might not be the greatest, but we're here, we're trying it out. I have no idea how long I'm gonna fish here. I just really wanted to get out today and kind of just see what was going on. Like I said, I've caught some little bluegills here before and a crappie or 2, so get rid of some of these strings here. So I'm really hoping that, honestly, anything. I don't even care if it's a little tiny bluegill, tiniest one in the lake. Just want to catch whatever's out there. I just really hope we get some flags going here, because then I can get that on film too. That would be pretty sweet. Also gotta figure out like the best angle for you guys to be sitting at, you know? We'll try right here for a minute. Well, not for a minute, for a little while. And then I think what I want to do is move over this way. Because I drilled a couple holes over there, and I put the camera down there, was checking it out, and it looks like the weeds over there are a lot longer. Like over here, they're pretty spindly. There is some, I just saw a little fish, a little tiny one on the camera there. If I can catch a couple little bluegills, I will be way, way happy with that. I don't even care what they are. I kind of want to move into the weeds more, the taller weeds, because you guys can't see it, but on the camera here, most of the weeds that I am seeing, there is a bunch of weeds down there. Like there's like a mat of weeds on the bottom, but they're all pretty short. They're not tall, and the fish probably aren't hiding in them, so they got to kind of see my bait. So I've been kind of like just kind of working my bait up high, jiggling it, and then I'm kind of just slowly lowering it back down, just because I want to get attention from anything around. Oh, I hooked some weeds. Dang it. There we go, I got it off. But I really want to get out to one of these lakes that's not too far from my house. And if you know, you know, but there's a lot of cribs out there that are man-made. And there's like, if you don't know what a crib is, it's, you know, basically a big Lincoln log stack underwater that's handmade for fish to have structure to hide in, so. Yeah, there is longer weeds closer to shore. I'm actually not too far off of shore here, so I'm kind of trying to stick to the weeds because I really want to catch panfish. That's kind of why I'm over here. I do have my tip-ups out, like I said earlier, but those are for pike, you know, if anything so happens to cruise by. I got 2 big shiner minnows on, so you never know. I did see a faint glimpse of a bluegill as it went across the screen, like on the bottom. Saw it swim by, little guy. So I did see 1 fish today so far. We might have to move over, guys. Just trying to think if I want to do that, because if I do it, I need to do it now. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Alright, I'm gonna pause you guys for a minute, and then I'm gonna turn you back on once I'm all moved and in place. Alright, you guys, we just got moved. We just got the heater rolling. Get that thing heating up. I really want you guys to be able to see the screen at least a little bit. There we go. Now you can kind of see it. It's like lower. So as you can see, it's pretty weedy where I'm fishing, but that's good. That's kind of what I want. I'm pretty much just jigging in the weeds here. Like I said, I am using the larva that I got from those bulbs, as well as a little tiny orange jig. Got my heater going, my little floor mats, keep my feet warm. It's actually pretty warm today. It's only about 30 something degrees, 37, so it's actually pretty warm. For ice fishing anyway. So yeah, hopefully I can start you guys up when I catch something. Alright, you guys, on the camera I have a couple little fish, some little bluegills swimming by. You can see them in the background. I'm trying to get them to come in. I'll do some raises and some lowers here. I see some tiny little babies in the background, yeah? Little teeny guys. You guys definitely cannot see it, but on my Vexilar screen here, I actually have some little teeny ones way in the background. I might even have to change up my baits, because I'm not sure if the one I have on is pretty small, but if the fish are not feeling it, you know, you might as well switch it up. Try something different. You know what's crazy? I just tried to go on TikTok live so I could like video that while I was on here, and you have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok in order to do that. That's crazy. Oh, here comes a little pike. There's a little baby pike on the screen. He's looking at my little waxies. You guys might be able to see him. I don't think he's gonna eat it, but that's the teeniest little baby pike I've ever seen. No wonder we're not seeing any bluegills over here. No, come back. He said, nah, I'm good on that. Dang. I was hoping to get that on camera. That would have been cool. Seeing him on there and then hooking him. That would have been dope. Probably didn't look good on the camera, on the GoPro here. Those little pike like that, though, will scare away any and all bluegills that are in the area. They'll just zoom away as soon as that pike comes cruising in. I'm trying to attract some over, but I think all I did was attract that pike over, which he was like, he wasn't big. He was probably like this big, a little underwater spiky noodle, you know. Still cool though. Still cool. I need to get that other pole I have all lined up. Put some line on it, because it's kind of like my medium size fish pole for like bass and pike and stuff. So I have to put a little bit stronger line on it, because this pole has like 2 pound, I think. This little jig pole I have. That little pike that was near us swam that way, I believe. So We do have a tip up over there, so maybe if he goes over there, might get a chance to catch him. Alright, this is our tip up setup we got going on out here. See how our fish is doing down there. Oh yeah, still jamming. Alright, we're good. Get him back down. I actually might let him down a little further. Bam. I use these carpets to keep the hole from freezing up. And also it keeps the fish from thinking there's a hole here. It keeps it dark. So that is nice. And we are fishing with a bunch of shiner minnows. And you can get these pretty much any bait shop. Big flashy minnow. Let's up over here. We're gonna give that a jig. These other guys over here that are fishing over here, they got all kinds of flags going on. I do not. I'm trying. You know. How's this guy doing? Swimming really good. Perfect. It's pretty deep here as well, so I'm going to let a little line out of this one. There we go. All right. And I'm considering putting line on that other pole I got and switching out my little jig bait for it. If I was a pike, a little pike, what would I want to eat? Probably a little gold minnow. Know what I mean? Maybe a little gold Rapala minnow. Maybe not, but could give it a shot, you know? Might as well. We're here. This is the line I'm going to use, 6 pound. I think it's for ice fishing. If not, it's for smaller poles, which this is a smaller pole. 6 pound, which is kind of a lot for ice fishing line, to be honest, but when it comes to northerns and their sharp teeths, probably going to want something a little thicker, you know what I'm saying? I was really hoping we'd catch a couple little baby bluegills or something. Well, I was hoping we'd catch a bunch of fish, but you never know. Alright, I'm going to get you guys back up going again once I start jigging this thing. Alright, you guys, I'm going to be throwing this little Rapala gold black minnow, black and gold minnow. We're going to see if we can get that, entice that little pike to come back. That's kind of the only fish we've seen, so. If I catch a fish on this, it'll be crazy because I've never caught a fish on Jig and Rap like this. Obviously, I would like to. Also, our underwater camera is going to die soon, so when that happens, we're probably only going to fish for a little bit longer, and then we're probably going to dip. Alright guys, so I am actually jigging right now, a little Jig and Rap, a golden one, and a little baby pike came up and swiped at it, so I'm trying to get him to come back. Haven't got any flags yet, so I've kind of just been relying on jigging my little bulbs and waxies and stuff, so I really hope to catch a fish before I leave today, but that's okay if I don't. That little pike came in and he swiped at it, so I mean, he might come back. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to see anything, so just seeing anything is pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. It's literally, I took off my hat and I was like, my cameras were not going, and of course that's exactly when, you know, the guy comes in. Dang it, that was my chance. Missed him. He might come back. We'll see. I've seen some people catch some pretty big pike on Jig and Raps and stuff like that. Hopefully I don't get anything too heavy on this because I'm using Wicked Ice Evolve, I guess that's what it's called. I don't know. Got it as like a setup from Fleet Farm like a couple years ago, I think, 2 years ago. And it works pretty good. I've caught some fish on it, but never have I ever caught a fish on Jig and Wrap. I almost did. Literally moments before this started. Little Northern came in and swiped at it. He almost had it. I should have held it still instead of giving it another whoop, because he came in, he swiped at it, and I didn't see it until like after I was already mid like jig. And then he was under it for a second. He was looking around and he was trying to find it, and he couldn't find it. And then I gave another jig and it scared him, and then he took off. So he could come back, but we'll see. All right, you guys, we actually have a flag. Could be a minnow trip. Oh, nope, it's spinning. A little bit. Might be a fish on it. Might be a fish on it. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Got him. Got him, got him, got him. Look at that little pike. Nice. Look at that, you guys. Pike. Probably the one we saw on camera. Little baby. Little guy. Heck yeah, first fish. Going back. Heck yes. Nice little pike. Little pikerino. Alright, we need a new minnow. There we go, guys. Heck yeah. First fish, ice fishing this year. Didn't know if it was going to happen today, but we got one. Now our hands are all wet and frozen, so we're going to go heat them back up. And we got lucky, got a flag, and got a fish. So I am down with that. That is a 1-for-1 scenario right there. That's that good stuff. That's what you want. I want to do a lot more jigging with like the tungsten jig, but I just don't see any fish around. So that's why I'm kind of like throwing this around, because I got, with the Jig and Wrap going, I don't know if the camera was rolling or not, but with the Jig and Wrap I was, you know, giving it good like swoops, so it's kind of just doing its motions down there. And when doing that, a medium-sized bluegill came cruising in, and he stopped and looked at it, and he pecked it for a second, but then he didn't take it because the lure is pretty big, honestly. I mean, it's a small little jig, but for a bluegill they have a small mouth. So I just quickly reeled this up, and then as I did that, I went to go put back down my tungsten jig, and by the time it got, you know, all the way down there, the bluegill was already kind of moving off, and he just didn't care. He was out of here. Still cool though. Alright, I'm gonna turn you guys off for a couple seconds here, and I will turn you back on once something interesting happens. Well, got a fish, guys. The tiniest of bluegill. There he is. I didn't get the beginning on camera because I was so focused on trying to catch him. And I got him on the little larvas that I got out of the bulb. Teeny guy, but that's just how it goes. Oh, there he goes. So there was one down there. At least there was one. Alright, let's see if I can get a couple more before it's time to go here. If they start turning on here, I might have to stick around a little longer. We'll see. That's so crazy. That little bluegill came zooming right in. I watched him on the camera. He came zooming in. I was like, oh. And as soon as he came in, I held it still for a second, and then he ate it, and I hooked him. As soon as I hooked him, I turned the camera on. We're fishing pretty shallow here. It's probably like 2 feet deep here, 3 feet deep. So that's pretty crazy. But there we go. I caught one on the tip up, and I caught one on my pole. That's pretty much all I need right there. But I really want to try some of these new lakes. I got a bunch of them lined up. So we'll see. We'll see how she goes. Alright, well, that's probably going to be all for this video. Probably going to be a super short one, just because I didn't honestly film all that much. So there wasn't a whole ton to film, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I don't know. I think we did pretty decent. Caught 2 fish, be it both small fish, still caught fish. Alright, you guys, well, quick little ice fishing excursion. We caught a little northern on tip-up, and a very, very tiny little bluegill on a jig, so we will see you guys in the next one.